All right, good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Judicial and Public Safety Committee of November 16th. Roll call, please.
Chair Ranahan, here. Member Chaplin. Member Chaplin. Member Covert. Member Desart. Member Eckhoff. Member Garcia. Here. Member Kajewski. Member Ozog. Member Pachalski. Member Schwarzy. Member Selman. Member Zay. Member Kajewski.
Okay. All right. So do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
All right. First off, I just wanted to say I think it's important to address our financial requests at committee meetings as we are able to. And as chair, I definitely want my committee and public to have the best information on what's coming forward and why, especially when it comes to big ticket requests, so we can all make informed decisions. To that end, I understand that Merit, the countywide crime task force, also known as the Metropolitan Emergency Response and Investigative Team, which is made up of our sheriff's office and DuPage County law enforcement agencies, intends to make a presentation to finance next week on a request for a mobile command center and a Bearcat armored vehicle. From what I understand, the cost would be about $1 million, and funding would come from budgeting surplus and would need to be approved before the year end. So I think it's important for us to have the information. You're going to hear information about the usefulness of the vehicles and how they could help investigations into major crimes, work that the county does along with over 30 municipal partners at finance committee. So in the coming week, I urge you to speak with your local police chiefs and sheriff and his team about this initiative so they can answer any questions. I'm confident that you'll see these purchases would support public safety in DuPage County, a goal that we all strive for on this committee and as elected county board members. So I will be supporting this initiative, in fact, if in fact we see it, but just something to be on all of your radar. So I think Deputy Chief Bilodeau is going to be online, and if you have any questions during new business, I would like our committee to be able to address this first before it goes to finance. We're going to hold all comments until new business on this item, on this informational thing, and I'd like to thank members Chaplin and Krajewski for bringing the information to me so I could pass it along to you. So, secondly, I'd like to call Murray Snow up to the podium, as this is his last meeting with us. He's leaving for a new opportunity, as we heard at our last county board meeting, for something in the private sector. But we didn't want him to leave without recognizing the hard work he's put in ensuring safety and security of DuPage County in the past years. So thank you, Murray. And I'd just like to share some of his accomplishments as we say goodbye, Murray. Thank you for promoting school safety through workshops, training courses, exercises with partners in the Regional Office of Education, the Illinois Terrorism Task Force, open source intelligence training in organizations and local police and fire agencies. Murray initiated a House of Worship safety planning program. He served on the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force Executive Board and on the Illinois Terrorism Task Force as co-chair of the Emergency Management Subcommittee. Also a member of the School Safety Working Group. He initiated and supported the OHSEM Homeland Security Desk and has built strong relationships with intelligence partners at the federal, state, and local levels. Murray supported service planning and operational support for the BMW Championship that we all had the fun going to. He shared incident command responsibilities with the health department during COVID-19 response, including staffing 5 full-time people at the community test site at the fairgrounds for 6 months. He led the agency during responses with the pandemic, periods of civil unrest, and multiple severe weather events, including the tornado experienced over Father's Day weekend. He developed OHSEM to become a leader in the state in quality and quantity of emergency management training, with over 1,400 people coming through the doors of that office in 2019, outpacing even Illinois' emergency management standards. So thank you, Murray, for your leadership, and you will definitely do this. So. Thank you for coming up here. You're good. With that, I'll ask for a motion to approve minutes of Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021. Second. All right, any questions, comments, additions? All right, all in favor? Any opposed? Those are approved. I'll take a motion to approve JPSP 42621, recommendation for approval of contract purchase order to DuPage Health Department to provide mental health services for mentally ill probationers for the probation and court services December 1st, 2021 through November
Second.
30th, 2022, not to exceed 208,000. We have a motion and a second. Do we have any questions or comments on this item? All in favor? Any opposed? That is approved. I'll take a motion on JPSP 42721, recommendation approval of contract order to Quicket Solutions to provide professional services and software for e-ticket application for the circuit court clerk.
So moved.
December 1st, 2021 through November 30th, 2026, not to exceed $1,234,000. We have a second question. Member Garcia?
Yeah, just a quick question on this, just a little bit of a clarification on this. So this is gonna be an e-ticket application for the officers to use so that they'll be writing tickets on like a pad or something, just have a little bit more information on it.
Okay, well, we have circuit court clerk here to address any questions.
Good morning. Yes, so this is e-citation system used inside police cars. So they literally create electronic tickets through this application that runs on laptops in the squad cars. And then that data is fed into the clerk system, automatically.
That's what I thought, but I just want to get a little clarification on it. It looks like a wonderful system, so thank you.
Thank you.
All right, any questions, comments? Nothing? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. That's approved. Take a motion on JPSP 42821, recommendation approval for a contract purchase order to Gauls LLC to purchase new ballistic and stab vests for our deputies. December 1st, 2021 to November 30th, 2022, not to exceed 125,000. We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Yes, Member Rutledge.
Thank you, Chairman Renahan. I'm not on this committee, but I just want a little better description of what's the difference between a bulletproof vest and a staff vest.
Okay, well, that is not my area of expertise, but I think we have someone from the sheriff on the line.
Good morning, Dan Billady from the Sheriff's Office. The difference between a ballistic vest and a stab vest is that a ballistic vest is designed to stop bullets from going through. A stab vest is designed for a corrections environment to stop from sharp objects. A ballistic vest won't stop knives, generally speaking. If they're sharp enough, they'll go through ballistic vests. So our deputies in the jail wear the stab vests, and our deputies on patrol wear the ballistic vests.
Thank you.
And my understanding, they're on a 5-year rotation for replacement, so it's a regular kind of expense. So we had a motion and a second. Any other questions, comments on this item? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That is approved. Take a motion on JPSP 42921, recommendation approval of contract with Allied Universal Technology for security system maintenance and repair services for the campus for Office of Homeland Security Management, 3-year period, December 1st, 2021 through November 30th, 2024, not to exceed $142,080. We have a motion and a second. Questions, comments?
I'm sorry, who moved?
It's a-
Okay, thank you.
Oh, that was not a question. Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, that is passed. Take a motion on JPS 0011021 ordinance enabling ordinance Somerset Plaza LLC for traffic control for the sheriff and private parking lot. We have a motion second. Questions, comments? Member to start?
Yeah, thank you. We've had this question come up in the past, but is the, this is a 2-year contract. Is the sheriff's office being reimbursed for this service in some way by the Somerset Plaza people?
I think this is their ability to write tickets. You have Dan Billado on the line.
Yep, still here. That's what that is. Because it's private property, it gives us the ability to write tickets to, if there's traffic crashes on there, to do the traffic crash reports and issue citations if needed. That's all it is.
Well, yeah, but we talked about, what was the community that we started, we agreed to charge $25 an hour?
That is Wayne. That's the Wayne Police Department, and that's handling calls for service. If we go to any private property and do a traffic crash, if somebody calls, if people back into each other or whatever, if we don't have an agreement on that private property, we can't do any enforcement action with that. So it's much like all of the other ones that we do for private neighborhoods with private streets. We have to have an agreement with them to be able to do enforcement action for them.
All right, thank you so much.
Great. Does that satisfy your? Okay. Any other questions or comments on this item? All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? That's passed. I'll take a motion to receive and place on file the Public Defender's Office report, October 2021 statistical report. Questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. All right. Any opposed? That is received and placed on file. Do we have any old business? All right. Under new business, I see that Member Chaplin has a guest here. Would you like to introduce your guest?
Oh, sure, thank you. So I have Kaylee O'Hara from Hinsdale Central High School, and she's here today observing for your AP government class. So she'll be coming to the meetings with me and
Great.
observing.
Welcome.
So
Nice to
having her-
see you.
So, yeah, so welcome. But I
Right.
did also have a question. Under-
Yes.
Well, I don't know if it falls under old and new business, but
Yes.
regarding the Bearcat, last night I attended the school board meeting for District 99. And the auditorium was full and the Proud Boys were there with their yellow patches and all. And I was just curious if our sheriff's office, if they monitor these type of groups, the hate groups, or if they, do they have a handle on, their activity? Because it was kind of concerning to see them here in our county. And there was about, I'd say 10 security officers and police officers at the meeting last night. But, so maybe a vehicle like that's not a bad idea because, a situation like that could, accelerate into something in a matter of a few minutes. So I was just wondering if somebody from the sheriff's could answer if they do track those type of groups or.
So Deputy Chief Bilodeau, do you have a response on that?
We track the groups and the information when we're aware of what they're doing. We monitor social media. We work with our state, local, and federal partners on these things. So, I mean, when we're aware of it, we're tracking it, we're watching it. And to Member Chaplin's point, yeah, vehicles such as these would be helpful in response if needed to any of those types of larger events, for sure.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any additional comment from Homeland Security or?
Could I have a clarification?
Yes.
Just on that, that was a school board meeting and you said parents attending there were a hate group? Is that what you were saying?
No, the Proud Boys were there. That group, that Proud Boys.
Okay, well, I didn't see any of that reported on the news or anything
Well,
like that.
well, the news didn't report it, but they were there and yeah, and they had, because we even saw their yellow arm patches.
Ma'am, would you mind repeating the question?
Yeah, just Member Chaplin had a question on in terms of, monitoring hate groups or that kind of thing.
As the chief said, or Commander Bilodeau said, social media is one of the biggest sources we have, but we do not have the authority to go behind privacy walls. So everything we see or everything we look at has to be an open source. Police are the same way unless they're conducting an investigation, and we cannot go near anything that encroaches on the First Amendment. So with schools, we try and get together with the administration when there is a threat, with the local police when there is a threat, and we work together through that way to solve it.
Well, like I said, it was pretty, I mean, they did have, there were, like I said, between security and police, there were probably 10 law enforcement of some type at the meeting. So that was nice. I just was wondering if, we track them. So it's good to know that we do on social media and however we can.
We don't track,
Or not track.
we
but-
don't actively monitor, but if there is something that we hear about, we'll work with the local police and sheriff's department and we'll work together on that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we had Member Ozog's hand up first.
What is the name of this vehicle exactly? It's a Bearcat.
I think I'm gonna hand that over to Sheriff Deputy Chief Bilodeau, since he's familiar with this more than I.
Thank you.
Good morning again. The vehicles that we'll be discussing and talking about are two different vehicles. One is a command post, and a command post is just like it sounds. It's basically a large recreational vehicle that's been outfitted with computers, radios, places to sit. I'm sure you're all familiar with the command posts that you've seen in the different communities. The Bearcat is the brand name. It's produced by a company called Lenco. It's an armored vehicle. If you've seen the vehicles that we do have here at the sheriff's office, we do have an Ilias Bearcat, which is not our asset, it's an Ilias asset, but it's basically a vehicle that gives us the ability to approach situations where there's potential for shots to be fired or other harm to police officers or deputies. It's an armored vehicle. It is not a weaponized vehicle. And it's just a matter of safe transportation and approach and to help us resolve those incidents.
One other
Member Dessart,
question. Do we,
Did you, I'm sorry, did you follow up? Go ahead, Member Rosag.
I'm sorry, we don't own any of these vehicles at this point?
We do not own any Bearcats, no.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Member Dessart, and then
Thank you. I just wanted to say that with regard to, I am not in favor generally of militarizing the police, but I am in favor of the command post and of the Bearcat. And I will be voting in favor of them because I saw what happened in the chaotic hours of the Pratt shooting in my community in Aurora a couple of years ago, and how the armored vehicle would be a safety method for the officers. And also, wasn't a Bearcat used to help people in the Father's Day tornadoes? So it's not just military, it's not just police. It's also a safety unit to get into areas where a regular vehicle might not be able to get into, correct?
That's correct. We actually, the sheriff's office, I was at the Pratt shooting. We had about 50 people from the sheriff's office at the Pratt shooting. And if you have seen any of the follow-up videos to that, it was a Bearcat that they used to actually break down the doors to get in to try to resolve that situation. So Bearcats are used for a variety of things. They are not militarized vehicles. They are just armored supported vehicles for local law enforcement. We use the Bearcat in our vehicles for a variety of different things and a variety of different situations. They're very multi-purpose vehicles.
Thank you. Thank you. Chairwoman Renahan, I just wanted to say I support this use of the surplus. Thank you.
all right, thank you, Member Dessart. Member Covert.
That's exactly what I was going to ask, if the Bearcat is used for other purposes. It's my understanding that the Bearcat was used in Lyle as well when there was a really big flood. Is that correct? For natural disasters, and it's not necessarily militarized, but it is used for emergencies and natural disasters.
It is used for a lot of different things. Yes, I wouldn't recommend driving that heavy vehicle into a flood, but it is raised up. We can go through higher levels of water than we could with a regular vehicle. But it's certainly used for a variety of law enforcement purposes.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you all have asked that, because there is a distinction under the Safety Act. Militarized vehicles are not allowed to be purchased by police units or whatever. And I guess my understanding is this has wheels, not like a tank would have, which is.
Correct. It's actually built on a Ford F-350 truck frame. It's not a militarized vehicle.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments under old business? Anything? All right, if not, I'll take a motion to adjourn. All right, all in favor? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.